So what happens when you run JS code? Let's understand it with an example. So here is an example in which we have a variable a whose value is 10, and then we are printing that variable, and then we have a function whose name is CodeDev Verse, and inside that function we have something, right? So now we know that as soon as our JavaScript codes load on browser, it creates a global execution context, right? So here comes it. And my global execution context has two phases. The first one is memory allocation and code execution phase, right? So now we will see what exactly happens in these two phases via this example. So let's first get started with memory allocation phase. So in memory allocation phase, all the lines containing keywords like var, let, const, function, if your line of code, if your piece of code, if your line of code is containing any of these keywords, that line of code will take part in memory allocation phase. So if you see this code, so now the control is in line number 1, and my line number 1 has a var keyword. So this line will take part in memory allocation phase, and it will, what it will do? So it will register this A, right? It will get this A in memory allocation phase, and in front of that A, it will store a special keyword which is undefined. But wait, what is this undefined? Why we have kept this undefined over here? So my dear friends, for now, just remember that this undefined is a special keyword. We will discuss about it later on, right? But for now, just memorize key variable stores undefined initially. Okay, so whenever you define a variable in memory allocation phase, it stores a special keyword undefined initially. Okay, now this piece of code, this piece of line is done in memory allocation phase. Now the control comes to line number 2. But this line number 2 does not contain any keyword like var, let, and const, and hence this line will not take part in memory allocation phase. Why? Because there is no variable declaration, no functional declaration, nothing, right? So now control comes to line number 3, right? And in my line number 3, we have a special keyword that is function, and hence this line will take part in memory allocation phase. So here comes the function name, and in front of function name, the complete function will get stored line by line. So this CodeDev Verse will be having the complete function. Whatever is written inside the function will be stored in front of function. So my dear friends, in memory allocation phase, if you are a variable, right, you will be assigned as a undefined as an initial value. But if you are a function, the complete function as it is will get stored in your memory allocation phase, right? So this line is also done. This line is also done in memory allocation phase. Now comes the line number 4. But the code will not get to this number, this line number. Why? Because the function is not being called yet, and unless and until your function is being called, the code will never get inside the function, right? So the control will not get to this function. Control will directly get to your line number 6. But here in line number 6, we don't have any of the keyword, and hence this line will also not take part in your memory allocation phase. So that was it about memory allocation phase. Let's now start with the second phase, that is code execution phase. So in your code execution phase, the complete code will rerun line by line. Okay, the complete code will rerun line by line, starting right from line number 1. So now the code again gets back to line number 1, and here it sees that okay, we have already registered a variable a, but now the value in front of a, the value in program and the value in memory allocation phase, they both are different, as you can see over here. So what JavaScript will do, they will say that okay, it's a value mismatch. So developer is saying that the value is 10 and I have kept the value as undefined. So it will update this undefined value with the actual value which is given by the developer. Okay, so now the value of a is 10. And this piece of code is complete. Now this piece of code is complete. Both the phases, memory allocation and code execution, is now being done for this piece of code, and hence it is over. Okay. Now comes the control comes to line number 2. In line number 2, we have a console log of A. So yes, this line will also get executed. So always remember guys, in code execution phase, each and every line will take part. Does not matter whether it is having a special keyword or whatever it is, each and every line will take part in code execution phase. Okay, so over here console log will take part and it will just do console log a, and now it says that okay, I have to print the value of a, but where is the value of a? So it gets the value of a from here and it prints the value of a in the console, and hence this line is also over, right? Now the line number 3 to 5 will not run abhi ke liye. Why? Because these line will only run once your function is being called, and hence we have not called the function yet, so the control will not get to this number line, it will directly go to line number 6. Now the control is in line number 6, right? And my dear friends, whenever you see a function call, right, so what a function call will do, it will create a brand new execution context for this particular function. The execution context which was created earlier was a global execution context, and the execution context which is created just now is a local execution context which is valid for this particular function. So whenever you call a function, right, it will create a brand new execution context for a particular function, which again has two phases. The first one is memory allocation and the second one is code execution. And since now we have called the function, so the control is in line number 4. And in this line, in this entire function, we don't have anything to allocate memory. So it will get into code execution phase, and the line number 4 will take part in code execution phase. And here comes the console log. Okay, so here comes the console log of something. So it will say that, okay, now I have to print this, hi guys, please do subscribe, and it will print it in the console, and this part of line is also executed. Now the control will again get back to line number 6, and JavaScript will verify that okay, now I don't have anything to do in this line, and hence this line is also executed. The complete code is executed, and once your complete code is executed, everything will get vanish. This all execution context, everything will get vanish, and your call stack is empty, and everything is vanished, right? So this is exactly how your function, or I can say your JavaScript code, runs line by line. So that's it for this video, guys. Thanks for watching, and please do like, share and subscribe to our channel, and for more such videos keep watching, and bye bye.